Hello, dear friends. It is Carl Carter Fansteel, and I am here in the studio alone as our seasonal tradition for side content requires that I do the Carl's cover. Full disclosure, this episode will be dropping at 4:20 in the morning. Tomorrow it is 12:03. So I have exactly 4 hours and 27 minutes to get this out. No, I did not make any mistakes. That's just how I roll. I work well under pressure. I like to put things off. And I also think that you can't take these covers too seriously. I will post a video of proof. I had 5 people in the room where I rolled a D20 dice. I still will never know. It's one of the Dungeons and Dragons ones with 20 sides on it. And I threw it and I rolled an 18, which was David Bowie's Scary Monsters album. Now, I've been scrolling through this album and I have to choose a cover from it that I'm going to make an attempt at. And I knew what I wanted to do off the bat, but then I remembered it was the most listened to song. Ashes to Ashes, 127 million listens. Great tune. Thinking about doing kind of like a reggae thing, but I can't do the most popular tune off an album. It's against my like mental law here. So I scrolled through the rest of them. I thought, okay, what's doable? What sounds like me? And I think I've settled on the song Fashion, the song that follows it. It's the third most listened to song on the album, and for good reasons. I'm not the biggest David Bowie fan, though this album did help kind of dial my ear in, and I know I'll be dealing with David Bowie in the future. I think this song has all of the energy and kind of chaos and funk that I like about David Bowie, and him kind of being able to throw off anybody else's expectations and just do what he wanted to. It's a fairly long song. It comes in just under 5 minutes. I'll likely trim a few seconds off of it because the end is pretty repetitive. But yeah, I gave it a couple of listens and said, this is going to be the tune that I'm going to cover today. This isn't a very long segment, but if you haven't listened to my other Sidetracks episodes where I've covered music, but I like to walk you through my method. So I'll grab a guitar. One of the reasons I chose this tune is because it only really has 3 parts to it. Most of the songs on here actually do, as I listened through them. A couple had 4. But there's 3 main themes to this song. I really like the beat. I really like the bass line. The chord progression is nothing special. It just goes G to F. It kind of hangs there. And so that was appealing as a guy who doesn't have much time, but also kind of, wants to be able to put his own spin on this. It's a pretty loose progression. It doesn't involve a lot of movement, so I can kind of feel the groove. And then there's a chorus in this song, that I believe goes in, I guess it's the B flat. So they kind of just modulate that same lick up a step and a half. And that's the chorus here. And so we kind of go back and forth. And there's a third part of the song that decides finally to go to the C. And that'll be a little more chill. I called it the post-chorus. I didn't know what else to call it in my circumstance. And so you move through 3 parts. There is, after the chorus, an interlude / solo. Some pretty gnarly guitar playing on there. I'm not going to attempt to play whatever said musician played at that point. I'll try and do something within the spirit of it. Who knows? I might not even play guitar over one of those 2 solos. We'll see how the surprise hits us. I can clock this song somewhere in the high, or kind of like the 106 to 110 range, depending on the pulse. I'm going to go in at 109. mainly because it's weird and it makes me feel uncomfortable, just like recording this episode does. So 109 BPM is where I'm going to track. His band is a little loose. They kind of fall off of it and get back into it. But it still has a lot of life and a lot of feeling to it. I'm going to go ahead and write first as I create a file here. I'll do a scratch. I'll do a scratch guitar part that probably won't sound like the guitar part to the song, and I'll sing along. This is going to be what I drum to. I'm going to one and done it tonight on drums. The drums are great. The drums are a 4 on the floor kind of post-disco feel. They're really down the middle. The only things I have to look for on the drums are transitions between sections. And the post-chorus, as I'm calling it, is not a bar of 4 or 8. It's a bar of 6. And so I just have to be cognizant of that, make sure my transitions are good. I should be able to hammer away at the drums pretty well in this song. Once I get that done, I'll put in the bass line, which I'm most looking forward to. Nothing terribly fancy. It's just really gritty and out loud and up front. It's quite staccato at times and cuts through the mix. And then the chords that I played you don't actually really exist on guitar all that often, if any, ever. Instead, there's a lot of funny, cool, picky things going on, kind of like I guess it's G. Like single string things. So I'll create some textures on some fun guitars. After I've filled up the song with drums, bass, and some kind of funky sounding guitars, I'll have to move into vocal land. I'll come check back in with you then. Time passes. All right, so 1:19 a.m. I returned from the first half of this song. I did a couple of things. First, it was chart out the song. So in Pro Tools, get down effectively what would be like mile markers on the highway. I'm pretty much counting how many bars the verse, the chorus, and all the different parts of the song are. Now, there's only 3 real parts to this song. There's a verse part, super funky. It goes into a chorus that's just up a whole step, where they say fashion a bunch of times. That part goes to a pretty neat, it's like a whole step up movement over a very similar pattern. And then it jumps back down to the verse part again, and there's a really crazy guitar solo. And then finally it hits, I guess what I'm calling a post-chorus or a second type of chorus. It could be called a mini bridge. I don't even know. But it's this C part of the song. So we have like an A, B, A, half of an A, and then we go to the C part of the song. C part of the song is cool. It's also not in the key of C, as I stated earlier. It's D, C, D, C, F, C. 6-bar phrase instead of an 8-bar phrase. Really cool. And it kind of mellows out. It's the only time that we hear real chordage in the guitar. Speaking of chordage in the guitar, I started by recording all 3 guitars. Not a lot of chords in this song if you look at like a traditional 6-string, 5-string, even 4-string chord. I created 3 different sounds. Panned in one of your ears, you're going to hear something that has a big flanger and some fuzz. Very 70s sounding. Real kind of funky. It moves and sweeps the wave scape. It's a single string part. Bum, 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 bum. Really kind of cool. In the opposite ear, you'll hear a very clean, rich guitar kind of doing a backbeat single note. Bug up, bug up, bug up, bug up. And then lastly, there's these super distorted guitars that do a high lick that drag down, and then die. It's kind of a signature in a lot of Bowie songs. The one that makes me think of the most is Fame. Has a guitar part that reminds me of that. It's a really neat guitar layer when you put all 3 parts in. None of them are really holding the main part. They're all just kind of contributing. In fact, the only tonal center of this song might be the bass guitar. Bass guitar is super simple, gives a lot of space. I may have embellished a bit. I played a bass part, that gave some space, and then would do a few licks here and there. That's as far as I've gotten at this point. I wanted to have all of that texture down before I hammered out drums. I do this for a couple of reasons. One, I don't know the song terribly well. I'm revisiting it after a couple of months, and I'm doing it super late when I'm tired. So the more I could take care of in actual detailed guitar work, the less I'll overplay the drums. Two, by doing all the guitar work, I pretty much understand the format of the song really well now, and I'll be able to probably drum this in just a few takes. My drum set's nothing fancy tonight. Kick, snare, 2 tom-toms, standard set of cymbals, a couple crashes, a ride, and hi-hats. No tricks, nothing weird. Down the middle drumming is what I'm shooting for. When all's said and done, I'll slap some plate reverb on those and EQ them so they sound a little dated and fun. As for the guitars, I built all the sounds. The bass, I played a pretty clean Fender Jazz bass into it. I'm going to throw some dirt into it in post, distort it a little bit, make it sound really aggressive. I'll check back in when the drums are done. I'll probably throw a little bit of hand percussion in, maybe like a shaker for some movement. And then I'll talk to you before we do vocals. Time passes. All right, 1:57 a.m. Drumming was fun. It was a breeze. I only did one take. So I hope it's okay. I got to line some stuff up now, make sure it all works. I think there's a couple hand claps I'm going to try and throw in as well. But I've pretty much got some balance between my 3 guitars, bass, and a drum set. It's time to hit the dreaded vocal wall. There's so many weird vocals in this song. I don't really know it very well, so that should be fun. Luckily, I have the internet for lyrics. I'll see you on the other side. Time passes. Okay, I'm a certifiable crazy person. It is 3:03 a.m. and I'm finished. I think I'm done. Could I add more stuff? Yes. Could I do it better? Probably. Do I want to? Not at all. Vocals didn't go terribly, considering I didn't really know any of the words, besides the word fashion. No falsetto to speak of at this hour, so any of the high stuff was screamed from 4 feet away. Stacks didn't turn out too bad. Some fun harmonies, some good energy. There are some absolute dog shit guitar solos I threw in to fill the gaps, because if you listen to the ones in the song, they're crazy. They sound like the John Frusciante Give It Away solos. So I just put on the most obnoxious effects bank I could find and hammered away at a harmonic minor chord or scale, and it is what it is. This is how I will leave you tonight. The world premiere of Carl's cover of Fashion by David Bowie off of the Scary Monsters album. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed putting it together for you all. And we will talk to you next week when Dan will be bringing you a treat. Thanks for listening. There's a brand new dance, but I don't know its name. That people from bad homes do again and again. It's big and it's bland, full of tension and fear. They do it over there, but they don't do it here. Fashion, a turn to the left. Fashion, a turn to the right. Ooh, fashion. We are the Goon Squad and we're coming to town. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. not very clear. Ooh, bop. Then people from good holes are talking this year. Ooh, bop. Fashion. It's loud and it's tasteless. I've heard it before. Ooh, bop. Shout it while you're dancing on the dance floor. Ooh, bop. Fashion. Fashion. Turn to the left. Fashion. Right. Fashion. We are the Goon Squad and we're coming to town. Beep beep. Beep beep. Listen to me, don't listen to me. Talk to me, talk to me. Dance with me, don't dance with me, no. Beep beep. Ooh, bop. Do 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 do. Fa 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 fa. Fashion. Ooh, bop. Do 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 do. Fa 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 fa. Fashion. La 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 la. Ooh, bop. Do 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 do. Fa 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 fa. Fashion. La 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 la. Ooh, bop. Do 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 do. Fa 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 fa. Fashion. Ooh, bop. Do 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 do. Fa 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 fa. Fashion. La 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 la. This is a show about the 500 albums that Rolling Stone says are the best.